Why Ethiopia's sacred paintings are unlike anything you've ever seen. Here's how a group of monks in ancient Ethiopia, painted with no signatures, no fame yet, no art school yet, left behind one of the most mysterious and beautiful art traditions on earth. While Europe was still painting flat halos, Ethiopia was blending African, Byzantine, Indian, and Islamic influences into something totally unique. Ethiopian sacred art began over 1,700 years ago. That's as far back as the Kingdom of Aksum, when Christianity became official around 330 AD. But this wasn't just copying icons. Ethiopians painted themselves literally. They painted biblical figures that looked like them, with brown skin and big, expressive eyes. And these weren't career artists. They were monks, priests, or apprentices learning from a master, not at school, but in the monasteries. They painted as part of their religious duty, not for money or praise. No names, no signatures, no fame, just devotion. Before painting, they would pray. Every single time. To them, painting was a sacred act, a form of worship. They weren't just painters, they were chemists. There were no art shops, no imported pigments. They made paint by hand. Red from ochre, blue from indigo, yellow from saffron or flower pollen, all from nature. And what did they paint on? Not just walls, but parchment made from cattle skin, scrolls, textiles, church ceilings, even on sacred utensils and crosses, sometimes carved in or woven on curtains. And every detail meant something. They didn't focus on beauty or realism, they focused on message. That's why you won't see realistic perspective or anatomy. Instead, the message dominates. For example, saints and angels always face forward, showing their purity. But evil figures? Always in profile, only one eye showing. It's how you know who's good and who's not. They also believed faces represented ego. So, to focus on the spiritual truth, faces are simplified. It's not lack of skill, it's intentional humility. Some of the oldest illustrated Christian manuscripts in the world were made in Ethiopia. The Garima Gospels, possibly 1,500 years old and still in Ethiopia today. The churches of Lalibela, carved out of solid rock, not built carved. This was a country painting and praying, while the rest of the world was still at war with itself. They even learned styles from Indian and Syrian traditions, but they never lost the Ethiopian touch. Because this art wasn't about copying, it was about identity. Ethiopian sacred art survived centuries of change. Even when modern art styles arrived, this spiritual tradition remained largely untouched. Because it wasn't just art, it was memory. Cultural memory passed from one painter-monk to the next. And because there was no formal school, each painter had to study under a higher priest or monk. They learned by doing, by observing, by believing. And that's why every icon, every scroll, every angel painted on the ceiling tells a story not just of the Bible, but of the people who held the brush. Ethiopian art is criminally underrated. It's bold, it's ancient, and it's filled with messages meant to lift your soul, not just please your eyes. It tells us that even without recognition, even without fame, beauty can last forever. So next time you see a painting with a flat face and giant eyes, don't dismiss it. That painting might be older than your entire country. It might be telling you a story that's still alive.